What's up, gearheads, and welcome back to Techbeast TV. Get ready to witness some serious mechanical muscle as we dive deep into the woods. We're talking colossal machines, raw power, and the incredible technology that tames the wild. You won't believe what these beasts can do. Stick around. All right, folks, we kick things off deep in the forest where the air is thick with anticipation and sawdust. Right here, it's the classic showdown, logger versus lumber. Armed with nothing but skill, experience, and a screaming chainsaw. Probably something gutsy like a Steel MS 881 Magnum, packing around 121 cc's of pure, tree-chewing power, and maybe a 36-inch bar. Our lumberjack makes the first critical cuts. You can almost feel the tension build as that blade bites deeper, throwing chips. Will it drop clean? Precision is key here. There it goes, a thunderous crash that echoes like nature's applause, shaking the ground slightly. But hold your horses, the job's not done yet. That tree isn't going to move itself. Let's see how this skidder handles the real grunt work. Now here's where the rubber really meets the road, or in this case, the mud. That mighty yellow skidder, maybe packing close to 200 horsepower and weighing over 30,000 pounds, has got its grapple chains sunk deep into tons of solid timber. And look at this incline, steep, slick, and absolutely unforgiving. This ain't no Sunday drive through the park, folks. This is a pure, unadulterated test of torque, traction, and sheer mechanical grit. From dragging whole logs, let's switch gears to something that turns chaos into mulch in seconds. Okay, shifting gears dramatically from brute force hauling to rapid fire destruction. Feast your eyes on this tracked skid steer, likely a high-flow model like a Bobcat T870 or a Kubota SVL97. Armed with a forestry mulching head that looks like it means serious business. This attachment alone can cost tens of thousands of dollars. This thing is the piranha of the forest floor. Forget dragging logs. This machine is all about high-speed shredding and processing. Watch that heavy rotating drum, bristling with dozens of replaceable carbide teeth, absolutely vaporize dense brush, downed limbs, and even decent-sized logs right where they lie. Wood chips fly like confetti at a heavy metal concert. Its dedicated tracks give it awesome stability and low ground pressure, letting it dance over rough, uneven terrain where wheeled machines would struggle or cause more disturbance. That skid steer is impressive, but what about processing even bigger timber? Get ready for the devourer. Prepare for consumption on a whole new industrial level. Rolling onto the scene is the track chipper, essentially a self-contained processing plant on the move. Check out that integrated loader arm with its powerful grapple. It snatches whole trees and bundles of branches like they're mere toothpicks, feeding them relentlessly into its hungry mouth. Somewhere inside that heavily built beast, a massive high-speed chipping drum, maybe spinning with hundreds of horsepower behind it and weighing thousands of pounds, is waiting eagerly, and poof! Solid wood gets obliterated into a blizzard of uniform chips, blasted out the adjustable discharge chute directly into the waiting transport truck. We're talking machines like the Bandit Intimidator 21XP or a Vermeer BC 1900 XL, capable of processing material up to 20 inches in diameter. This isn't just moving wood, it's annihilating it for biomass fuel or efficient site cleanup. The sheer volume it handles per hour is mind-boggling. After chipping comes clearing. Let's bring in the undisputed king of push power. All right, bring in the big guns. When you need raw, undisputed pushing power and ground shaping ability, you call in the bulldozer. This absolute titan, maybe a Cat D6 or Komatsu D65, isn't here to play nice or make friends with stumps. Its mission, rip those stubborn remnants of felled trees right out of the Earth's grasp. Feel that rumble? That's the sound of hundreds of horsepower turning diesel into pure grunt, meeting immovable objects head-on. Its massive operating weight, often exceeding 40,000 pounds, combined with those ground-gripping tracks, gives it incredible leverage and traction. Watch that giant steel blade, reinforced for impact, dig in, slicing through thick roots, heaving soil, and popping out massive stumps like stubborn corks from a bottle. This is less ballet, more demolition derby with dirt. It clears, grades, and reshapes the land with brute force, paving the way for whatever comes next. Nothing argues with a dozer for long. Dozers are great, but what if the ground is too soft? Time for a specialized swamp warrior. Now we're venturing into the really rough stuff. Think swamps, bogs, sensitive wetlands, or just insanely overgrown areas where lesser machines fear to tread, literally. Enter the heavy-duty tracked mulcher, a purpose-built monster like a Fecon FTX 200 or maybe a specialized carrier from Prinoth or Barco. Look at those wide, low ground pressure tracks. These are essential for floating over soft, mucky terrain that would swallow a standard machine whole, minimizing soil compaction. Up front, a massive mulching head, often wider and heavier than the skid steers. Tracks are great for swamps, but what about tackling huge logs on firmer ground? Let's see a wheeled approach. Okay, same job. Turning big wood into small wood, but a different approach. Check out this large wheeled mulching machine, often built on a beefy skidder or forwarder chassis. This setup trades some of that ultimate soft ground agility for increased speed and mobility on firmer terrain. And it needs that robust platform because it's tackling huge down logs left over from the main logging operation, stuff too big for the smaller mulchers. That enormous rotating drum, likely powered by some serious high-flow hydraulics drawing significant horsepower from the carrier's engine, makes absolute mincemeat out of thick tree trunks. Listen to it pulverize solid wood into chips and shreds with incredible force. See that heavy-duty push bar integrated into the front? We've seen wood destroyed in the field. Now let's see how it's prepped for becoming lumber. To the sawmill. We've left the rough, unpredictable forest floor and arrived at the more controlled, yet still incredibly heavy-duty, world of the modern sawmill. The journey from tree to usable lumber takes a crucial first step here, getting rid of that rough outer bark. Watch this automated beast go. Huge powered rollers grip and spin the massive log, feeding it steadily forward into the debarking head assembly. Those specialized cutters or rotating flails whip around at incredible speeds, efficiently peeling off the rough outer bark in a continuous shower of fragments. Getting rid of the bark, dirt, and grit is absolutely essential for ensuring clean, accurate cuts from the primary saws and maximizing the yield of valuable wood, not to mention saving wear and tear on expensive saw blades. Back to the woods. The skidder's work is never done. Let's see it handle a bigger load this time. Back to the clearing we go, and our tireless workhorse skidder is earning its pay yet again. This time it's not just wrestling with one log, but a whole bundle. Multiple heavy stems chained or grappled together, making for one heck of a challenging payload. You can really hear that diesel engine digging deep into its torque curve. See those tire chains churning aggressively through the mud and muck for every ounce of traction. This machine is the absolute lifeline, the crucial logistical link dragging tons of timber from the often remote felling site to the designated landing zone where trucks can take over for transport to the mill. Its articulated steering is key, helping it snake through obstacles and tight turns. while that powerful winch and robust frame are built specifically to handle the immense strain day in and day out. Notice the logger walking alongside? That's experience ensuring the load stays secure and guiding the operator. This is the gritty, demanding reality of log extraction. Some logs aren't destined for the mill. Let's see how they become firewood, the easy way. For some logs, the journey ends not at the sawmill, but stacked neatly, ready to warm a home during those cold winter months. Enter the firewood processor, a marvel of hydraulic muscle doing the back-breaking work most homeowners dread. Watch this operator efficiently feed pre-cut rounds log sections onto the machine's trough or integrated log lift. With just a flick of a lever controlling the hydraulic valve, wham! A powerful hydraulic ram, exerting maybe 20 or 30 tons of relentless splitting force, drives a sharpened steel wedge straight through the log. It splits clean and easy, turning solid rounds into ready-to-burn firewood in mere seconds. Some of these more advanced processors even incorporate conveyors to automatically move the split wood away and stack it. That splitter is great for normal logs, but what about those really massive, stubborn rounds? Time for some twisting power. Hold on to your hats, folks, because this is log splitting on serious steroids. We've got a standard hydraulic excavator, maybe a 30-ton machine commonly seen on construction sites, but instead of a digging bucket, it's wielding a gnarly-looking cone splitter attachment. This thing looks like a giant metal screw from some medieval torture device, and it uses the excavator's immense hydraulic power and precise control to rotate and bore its way into massive log sections that would choke a conventional splitter. Watch the operator's skill as they carefully position the cone's tip. As it drills deeper, the widening spiral shape exerts incredible outward radial pressure, literally twisting and ripping the tough wood fibers apart from the inside out. Large, knotty, stubborn logs that would just laugh at a conventional ram and wedge splitter simply surrender to this relentless, rotating force. It's proof positive that with the right attachment, a versatile excavator can tackle almost anything, even processing oversized timber. All right, let's kick off the next round of heavy metal mayhem with a machine that does multiple jobs in one pass. All right, kicking off our next phase of forest operations, check out the sheer finesse and efficiency of modern forestry technology. This green machine, likely a John Deere or maybe a Tiger Cat track processor, is like the ultimate Swiss Army knife specifically designed for logs. Sitting stable on that muddy, uneven ground, thanks to its robust tracked undercarriage, its long, articulated boom reaches out with impressive dexterity and grabs a harvested tree with that incredibly complex processing head. Zip! Powerful feed rollers pull the log through razor-sharp delimbing knives, stripping branches faster than you can blink. Then, whir chunk. An integrated saw, often a high-speed bar saw, bucks the log into perfect, pre-programmed, measured lengths based on mill requirements. This single machine does the work of multiple older processes, delimbing, measuring, bucking, handling trees up to maybe 30 inches in diameter, all with incredible speed and robotic precision right there in the field. Efficiency truly defined. Processing is precise, but sometimes you just need to obliterate everything. Enter the Orange Crush. Now this is how you reclaim land with authority. Feast your eyes on this absolute beast, an orange track mulch-share carrier, possibly a powerhouse from Barco or Prinoth, built specifically for one demanding purpose: the complete annihilation of unwanted vegetation. That wide, heavy-duty mulching head up front is a spinning vortex of destruction, armed with dozens of hardened steel or carbide teeth, ready to chew through anything in its path without hesitation. Thick brush, small trees, stumps, debris, it simply doesn't matter. This machine just wades right in, its powerful dedicated tracks providing relentless traction and stability even in mucky, challenging conditions. From industrial might let's look at a more classic, farm-based approach to log splitting. Let's dial back the sheer scale for a moment and appreciate some classic, effective ingenuity. Here we have a trusty red farm tractor, maybe an old Massey Ferguson, a Ford, or even an international harvester, providing the essential hydraulic muscle for a robust, tractor-mounted log splitter. No fancy processors or conveyors here, just pure, raw, hydraulic force applied directly to the task. Watch as these guys carefully heft heavy log rounds onto the splitter's platform or beam, positioning them vertically beneath the splitting wedge. Powered by the tractor's power takeoff PTO shaft, spinning a separate hydraulic pump. That ram pushes the wedge downwards with incredible pressure, easily 20, maybe even up to 40 tons of relentless force depending on the setup. Splitting is for later. Let's go back to the start of the process. Harvesting the standing trees with surgical speed. Back into the thick of the forest, where the timber harvest truly begins with remarkable speed and precision. This green-tracked feller buncher, perhaps a formidable Deere 909 MH or a Tiger Cat 870 series machine, is the apex predator of the modern logging site. It maneuvers deftly between standing trees on its stable, purpose-built tracked base, minimizing ground disturbance compared to older methods. The skilled operator extends that long, articulated boom, zeroing in with the complex felling head. Okay, the trees are felled and neatly bunched, but how do you efficiently get that valuable timber out of the woods, often across challenging terrain? Enter the forwarder, this large, multi-wheeled behemoth, maybe a versatile Ponce Buffalo or a heavy-lifting Komatsu 875, is the logging operation's dedicated heavy hauler, the crucial link in the logistical chain. First, watch it tackle the tough terrain. Soft ground, deep ruts, steep slopes. Those multiple driven wheels, often 8 of them, high ground clearance and serious articulation are absolutely essential for navigating these conditions. It might struggle for a second, bogging down slightly, but it finds its grip and powers through. Now check out the skilled operator expertly utilizing that long-reach grappling loader mounted on the boom. They deftly pluck logs from the bunches left by the feller buncher and stack them neatly and securely onto the machine's rear load bunk or trailer. This impressive machine bridges the gap, carrying tons of timber from deep in the cut block out to where the logging trucks wait. It's a logistical linchpin for sure. Sometimes access is the first problem. Let's see the bulldozer carve a path through pure jungle. Sometimes you don't need finesse, you just need to punch straight through. We're talking dense, unforgiving jungle terrain, thick with tangled vines and vegetation, and the undisputed tool for that job is often the legendary bulldozer. Listen to that powerful engine strain as this classic cat dozer, maybe a hefty D7 or D8, carves a path where none existed just moments before. It shoves aside tangled undergrowth, smaller trees, and thick brush like they're mere weeds. Its heavy steel tracks clawing tenaciously for grip on the loose, steep ground. This isn't about delicate maneuvering, it's about establishing critical access with sheer, unadulterated, overwhelming force. And look, a bigger tree stands defiantly in the way. No problem for this beast. The dozer lowers its massive blade, puts its shoulder into it, applies relentless engine torque. The path is clear, but stumps and rocks remain. Time for a smaller machine with a specialized tooth. Back in a cleared zone, but the heavy work isn't quite over yet. See that stubborn tree stump and maybe some deeply embedded rock refusing to yield? Time for the incredibly versatile tracked skid steer, Likely that familiar John Deere again, to show off another useful trick from its repertoire. Forget the mulcher or the bucket this time. Now it's sporting a specialized stump bucket or, more likely, a single powerful ripper attachment. Those hardened steel tines looking like a giant claw are designed specifically for focused demolition and prying. Watch as the operator uses the machine's impressive hydraulic power to drive that tooth deep into the ground, prying, shattering, and ripping apart the tough wood fibers and fracturing the rock around the stump. Its compact size and maneuverability let it get right in there, concentrating all its force precisely where needed. Dust and debris fly as it makes surprisingly short work of the obstruction. Another fantastic example of how attachments make these skid steers incredibly adaptable powerhouses on any job site. One last job for the big machine. Let's see the dozer put the finishing touches on the landscape. And for the grand finale of site preparation, the mighty bulldozer returns for its ultimate role, reshaping the earth itself with precision and power. Having conquered trees and stubborn stumps, it now commands the open terrain like a true king. That massive front blade, maybe 12 or 14 feet wide and capable of being angled and tilted, pushes enormous quantities of soil, rock, and debris, meticulously leveling and grading the logging site. Look at the dust fly as it works. It's likely building or refining access roads for the trucks, or smoothing out the main landing area for safer and more efficient log loading and transport. You can see an excavator working patiently in the background, sorting and managing log piles. Teamwork makes the dream work, even with heavy equipment. The dozer's incredible pushing power, combined with the unmatched stability and traction of its tracks, is absolutely essential for this kind of large-scale earth moving, turning a chaotic post-harvest landscape back into a functional, well-prepared work site. Raw, efficient power transforming the environment one final time. And there you have it. From felling giant trees with surgical precision to splitting firewood for the hearth, the sheer power, specialized design, and incredible versatility of this forestry and land clearing machinery are just absolutely incredible to witness. It's a tough, demanding job out there in the woods, but somebody's got to have the right tools to get it done efficiently and safely. Huge thanks for joining us today on Techbeast TV. If you love seeing heavy metal in action as much as we do, make sure to smash that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you don't miss our next adventure into the world of amazing machines. We'll catch you on the flip side.